back again with another little webinar or podcast. The previous one did okay. I had some pretty good comments on that, and I'm thinking, you know what, I might just keep the momentum going. And before I get into any of the information that I have to say today, I just want to let you know that I am no financial advisor. I'm no doctor, I'm no expert, I'm no monk or guru, if you will. I'm no prophet. I'm just a guy sharing my views and my insight. And you may get something out of it or you may not. It's up to you how you go about interpreting any of the information that is coming out of my mouth is completely up to you. So having that off my chest, the first thing that I want to go over is being an inner child or connecting to our inner child. When we're kids, all we want to do is run amok and have fun. We just want to play in the sandpit. We just want to get dirty with people that we love, and we don't care what they look like. We don't care what they sound like or what their religion is or what their culture is. They're just cool people that we connect with, and we're just having a really good time with them. At what stage do we lose our inner child and we lose that mentality and we really start to worry about the things that don't even matter, or worry about the things that we wouldn't necessarily think about too much when we are kids? And being a kid and having fun and rolling around in the sandpit, getting dirty, is probably some of the most euphoric times of our life. And if we can connect in with that, and if we can keep doing the things that would have made our 7 or 8-year-old self happy and proud, that could help us live a pretty good life. When we're kids, we don't really worry too much about a lot of the things that we worry about now. If people are going to like us, or what we should or shouldn't be doing when we grow up. When we're kids, we want to be like an astronaut or something. But when we're an adult, we become quite realistic about a lot of the stuff that we are doing. And it is important to be realistic. Being a dinosaur is not going to be able to put food on the table. None of that. So, of course, you have to be realistic. But all I'm saying is the creativity, the love, the joy that we do have and we do radiate, where does that go when we get a little bit older? So connect in with that. And also, when you're around kids as well, they've just got this kind of energy about them. Now, if you're at home and if you're listening to this and you do have kids, sometimes being around them just like elevates your mood. You could get home one day and be super stressed out or have so much on your mind, but just seeing the interactions that your kids are having just puts a smile on your face, or hearing their energy or seeing their point of view can just really help you feel at ease. Children have got this certain energy about them and it can really lift you up. So they are probably the most important thing, in our life, is listening and hearing what the kids are doing and making sure that they are protected and they are being in their childhood self, and giving them that opportunity of growing up and really getting after it later on, because they have had that joyful upbringing. So I'm kind of waffling on. Next part that I'm talking about now is reflecting is fun. Now, most of the time, we don't remember to reflect and we forget to do it. We just go through our day. We just go job to job, task to task, and we don't actually sit back and take on board what it is that we're doing with our time and how it is actually making us feel. And reflection is a time that you can sit back and go through your day and you can see things at a different angle or a different perspective. And that can fuel your future later on, because you are starting to get more of an awareness about yourself and what you're prioritizing and where your energy is going through reflection, you can understand whether or not that energy is going to a good cause. And this is actually reminding me of the Black Mirror episode in season 1, the entire history of you. So that's where people can look back in their day and they can reflect on it. Now, spoiler alert, in that episode, it's about whether or not people are cheating on us, but I'm seeing it from the perspective of taking 20 minutes before you go to bed, reflect on your day. Did you do the things that you said you were going to do? Was your actions, or were your actions productive? Was your time spent in a positive or constructive way? And then finally asking yourself, did I hurt people or did I lift them up? Those are a few questions that you can go through in your mind in the last 10 minutes. You're reflecting, you're going through your entire day in that 10 minutes, and it is giving you a little bit of a perspective about yourself and a bit of a perspective on what you may need to work on for the next day or for the upcoming week. So reflection is fun. The more you do it, the more enjoyment that you will get from it, because it's like anything. Repetition is the mother of skill. If you want to get mastery at something, you need to do it often. So the more that you reflect, the better at it you will get, and the more self-awareness that can come from doing that. When I'm reflecting, this is also getting me into the next point. It is the utilization of our time. So we've only got a very small amount of time on earth that we have been told. Now, you probably may already know this, you've been told this, that life goes very quick, and it does. So 5 years ago feels like 2 seconds. You can remember it like it was yesterday. The older that we get, the more responsibilities that we do have, the faster time goes. It's because we aren't really concentrating on the here and now, and we're not really concentrating about being present. We're instead distracted by the things that we need to be doing every single day, and those things are productive, and they will determine whether or not we can put food on the table. We need to go out, we need to work. All I'm saying is we need to be a little bit conscious about how we are using our time and whether or not we are being our best sense of self with it. And you got to prioritize your time in accordance with the kind of lifestyle that you want to live later on. So think of it like buckets, and the currency is your energy. You want to be filling up buckets that you are prioritizing. It could be health, wealth, freedom. The bucket will be vastly different depending on the person, but if you have your buckets and if you're putting your energy in filling up those certain buckets that you want full, that is basically going to be your life. So whatever bucket is full, that is how your life is going to be. And we can really think about setting our buckets in our health, hobbies, brand, business, putting all of our concentration into those, and then we are minimizing the amount of time that we are spending on buckets that are distracting us or taking us away from what it is that we really want to achieve in this life. And those forms of distraction are again going to differ depending on the person. It could be liquor, it could be drugs, or it could be stimulating content that you do see on social media or on the internet that is hijacking your dopamine. And you want to make sure that you are holding on to your dopamine and you are spending it on the things that are going to be productive. So most of the time, those productive things are delayed dopamine. What I mean by that is when you go to the gym, you may not want to do it. You first wake up out of bed. All you want to do is go back to sleep. But if you wake up go to the gym, come back home, you're going to feel pretty good. You're going to feel as if that you have accomplished something hard. And when I say hard, you have gotten enough energy to pull yourself out of bed and do something that you really didn't want to do. And that is difficult. So if you can get through that at the start of the day, you can get through anything really. It's going to give you the confidence to keep making good decisions. So you train, you eat well, you spend your time on your work that is going to provide a living for you. And then when you get home, you're reflecting on all of these things that you have done, and that is going to give you dopamine because you are feeling a sense of accomplishment. You have done the things that are good for you. You've invested in yourself. You've invested in your family, whatever it is that we are doing. So we need to be thinking about that. And also, we need to be concentrating in on about feeding our mind, how we are feeding our mind. So most of the time now, I've made a video about this before, about consumption. So you consume food, that is on the physical level, and you consume information, and that is on the mental and the spiritual level. And both of them are just as important. But most of the time, we don't really worry too much about our mental and spiritual consumption. We're too worried about our physical consumption through food. If we are prioritizing mental consumption, 40% of it is spent listening to people that have a healthy and they have a positive message to say. And most importantly, an authentic message. They're not lying. They're not being a con man. They're not trying to do you dirty. They don't have a false narrative. They're not trying to persuade you in some way. But the information that they are telling you is you can apply that and you can be a better person straight off the bat without having to give up too much of yourself. That's the kind of stuff that we really want to be prioritizing because it is making us a better person. And when we become a better person, we're more likely to have a positive impact on other people. And it's like a domino effect. So if you have kindness and you give someone kindness, they are more likely to spread that kindness than not. And the latter is also shown. If we treat people poorly, if we do them dirty, it's going to rub off on them and they're going to be in the mood of doing someone dirty or getting revenge or having some kind of negative intent that you don't want, and it's not going to be optimal. And then finally, the 60% is listening to our inner voice. That is feeding our mind. Most of the time, we don't listen to our inner voice. And when I'm talking about inner voice, it is that thing that is suppressed a lot of the time. It's that voice telling us whether or not we are living a life that is resembled to our truth. And if we are being authentic, and if we are living a good life, and with the distractions going on, with social media, with the news, with our work colleagues, or with whoever it may be, sometimes that inner voice is quietened. Sometimes that inner voice is put on mute and you can't really hear it. But that's the kind of voice that you really need to be listening to the most, because it's going to determine how you pivot. It's going to determine how you spend your life. It's going to determine how you think and how you feel as a person. And the more in tune that you can get with your inner voice and with your inner self, that is where you can really take control over your life, because you, at the end of the day, know yourself better than anyone else. Okay? But most of the time, we get too worked up about the opinions of other people. instead of the opinion about what we have of ourselves. So we need to really prioritize that. And then finally, with feeding the mind and giving it energy, I then want to finish up on how music is energy. So if you're listening to music, it can really impact how you feel. If you're feeling down and if you put on some music, you can feel uplifted or you can have more energy. And it can instantly put you into a different state of mind just by putting on your headphones, going on a walk and playing some music, or just putting on your headphones and listening to music. You don't even need the walk. It's going to help you so much, and it's instantaneous as well. So make sure that you are feeding the mind, listening to good people, more importantly, listening to yourself. You can do that when you reflect. Last 10 to 20 minutes of your day before you hit the hay, you want to go through your thoughts and you want to listen to that inner voice that is in your heart. Try to connect with that. If you've never done that before, chances are you're probably not going to hear that voice too well for the first couple of days, but I guarantee you, if you reflect every day, last 10 minutes, and you're concentrating on listening to your heart and listening to that voice, you will hear it. And the more that you listen to it, the better at adapting and being in tune with it will improve. So that's that one. Finally, 3 key messages just to kind of sum everything up is you want to connect with your inner kid. So ask yourself the question, if your 8-year-old self was here, what would they say? Would they be so worked up? Does it even matter? For instance, I don't know, like someone could cut you off in traffic. Your 8-year-old self probably wouldn't even care. They'd just shrug it off, oh well. But sometimes we can get so heated up and we can get real aggressive with something that doesn't even matter. And in 2 seconds time, you're going to forget all about it. So we just need to chill out sometimes, okay? Maybe you can chuck on Kids by MGMT because that song slaps. Takeaway number 2, do less, reflect more. This will help you do more of what's right and less of what's not. 10 minutes every day before you go to bed, ask yourself some questions. Did I do my best? Was I authentic? Did I lie? Was I honest? What am I going to do differently tomorrow? That's when you can start hearing that inner voice. And then finally, the third and final take home. You got to see life like buckets, and the currency is energy. You got to put your energy into the buckets you want full. That will determine the life that you're going to live. So fill up the buckets of health, vitality, wisdom, education. All of those things are going to make you a better person. So if you like today's video, message, whatever, let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate all of the feedback that I am getting. Been really enjoying this quest. I feel as if I have gone on a little bit of a quest by putting this information out into the universe, into the ether, and I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it could get one person to view it, or maybe it could have 1 trillion people listening to it. I don't even know. All I've done is I've just hit record on my phone and sent it out there. So whatever happens, happens. That's just the way it is. If you like today's message, let me know. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.